Hey guys, I'd like to talk about scale practice today, in particular learning a new scale for the very first time. One is very rarely taught why learning scales are beneficial, and at the beginning they can often seem boring and pointless. Yet scales are far more than just exercises for finger fluency or for gaining points in a music exam. For me, each scale is a unique palette of musical colours. And it's up to me as a musician to decide how best to use those colours for the ideas that I have. Once you understand what a scale gives you, your practice session can become a lot more focused and you can feel more motivated too. So let's now look at how you go about learning a new scale for the very first time.
Before you attempt to work out a new scale, you will need to know the following. The step pattern of the type of scale you're going to work on. You can have this written down in front of you if you need it. However, it's best to memorize it, then you will always be able to work out the notes of that scale in any key. And know the fingering of the scale according to the key before you start to play. You can have this written down in front of you as well if it helps. All major scales sound the same in terms of their note order, but their tone character will differ according to the key in which they are played. The reason they sound the same is because the same step pattern is used. A step pattern is a sequence of intervals that in turn forms a sequence of tones. If you look at just the white notes on the keyboard from C to C, you can work out the step pattern. Starting on the root of C, the pattern goes a whole tone up, a whole tone up, a half a tone up, a whole tone up, a whole tone up, whole tone up, and a half a tone up. This is the easiest place to see the form of the major scale on the piano keyboard. The easiest place to analyse the step pattern of the natural minor scale is to go from A to A and look at all the white notes in between. The step pattern for the natural minor scale goes from the root note of A, goes up a whole tone, then a half tone, whole tone, half, whole, and whole. Let's go back to C major. Once we know the shape of the scale, we give each scale tone a number. Starting with the root note, or the tonic, let's look at all the notes. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 8 is the same as 1. It is also a root note. If you want to make a scale of 2 or 3 octaves, you just copy and paste the notes up or down as required. If we apply this major scale step pattern, but starting on the note of D, we will be able to work out the notes of the D major scale. Map out the scale using both hands. It's important to create a visual map of the scale form in the key in which you are practicing. Now apply this major scale step pattern starting on the note of D. D's the root. We go a whole tone up, another whole tone up, a half a tone up, whole tone up, another whole tone up, a whole tone up, and a half tone up. And there you have your D major scale. What if you wanted to know what your A flat minor scale would look like? First things first, you go to the note of A flat and recite the natural minor step pattern. Starting from the root, you would go a whole tone up, half a tone up, whole tone up, whole tone up, half a tone up, whole tone up, and another whole tone up. And there is your A flat minor scale. How about playing an F sharp major scale? Starting on the root of F sharp, recite your major scale step pattern, and you will find the notes that belong to F sharp major. You saw earlier that each note of the scale was given a number. Now we are going to assign each note of the scale with a finger. For this 1 octave D major scale, the right hand fingering will be thumb 2, 3, thumb 2, 3, 4, 5 for going up the scale, and the reverse 5, 4, 3, 2 thumb, 3, 2 thumb for going back down the scale. The fingering for the left hand would be 5, 4, 3, 2 thumb, 3, 2 thumb for going up the scale, and for going down would be thumb 2, 3, thumb 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go back to D major. Thumb 2, 3, thumb 2, 3, 4, 5. And what we play going up the scale, we reverse for going down the scale. The fingering order would be the same for the D natural minor, D melodic minor, and D harmonic minor scales. How about for the left hand in D major? Starting on D, 5, 4, 3, 2, thumb, 3, 2, thumb. And the reverse fingering for going back down the scale again. The fingering order will be the same for the D natural minor, D melodic minor, and D harmonic minor scales. Let's now see the fingering for a 2 octave D major scale. Before learning a 2 octave scale, you must learn to master a 1 octave scale first. You will see some other fingering patterns that relate to different key groups at the end of this video. Whenever you are going to practice a scale, you should begin by placing your thumb on the root and be aware of how you feel at that moment. Your fingers, hands, forearms, elbows, upper arms and shoulders should be really relaxed. When you are comfortable, you can begin your practice.
How you attack the next part determines how quickly the scale will be learned. It's really important to practice accurately and very slowly at first, as this will allow the right information to be processed correctly, that's visually and orally, and for it to be ingrained into your muscle memory through deliberate practice. You must also, at this point, take a mental picture of the scale's geography. Now, here's an even more important bit. If you have a computer sequencer or a metronome, you can set up a click track or a pulse at a tempo of 120 BPM. Playing along with some sort of pulse or click is vital, as it forces you to practice and play in time. Time is such a vital ingredient in music itself, and the quicker you grasp feeling time and playing time, you will find that your performances will become better much quicker.
Okay, let's start the metronome. To begin with, we will play one note every 4 beats. And it will be the same coming down the scale. And when that is comfortable, you will play one note every 3 beats. And when that feels comfortable, you will play one note every 2 beats. And when that's comfortable, play one note every beat. And when that's comfortable, you can play 2 notes every beat. And that's as fast as I would recommend going at this point. Start off the same way for the left hand, 4 beats per note. On the way down, I will play 1 note every 3 beats. Obviously you would do this as before with the right hand, only moving on when it's comfortable to do so. On the way up, I'm going to play 1 note every 2 beats. And down, 1 note every beat. And now 2 notes per beat. And that is how I would approach starting to learn a new scale. And remember, regardless of scale or starting note, you apply the same principle.
Remember, just 5 to 10 minutes of quality practice will enable you to learn assuredly. And you'll probably find that you'll want to practice for longer periods, not just on scales, but on all elements of music, because you will see the progress that you are making. Practicing on a regular basis also helps you to maintain contact with your technique. And don't forget, I've included fingering patterns for all the main scales in all keys at the end of this video. So, thanks for watching.